Okay, we are at time. Do we want to start?
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right. Call the special meeting to order at, let's say, 6:46. And somehow I don't have the special meeting agenda. Copy of it? Oh, here it is. I've got it. Thank you. I set in the wrong one. So, roll call.
Arnold. She's absent. Farkapisi.
Absent.
Absent. Hamilton.
Here.
Flores.
Here.
Beckwith.
Here.
Sutton.
Here.
Kotsinis.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, new business. We have no RFPs?
Yes, no one responded to our RFPs. So just as a recap, this was for a vehicle for the Mobile Services Department. Specifically, we were attempting to get at least a certified Subaru Outback, if not a new Subaru Outback. We had a feeling this would be possible. We did hear back from a couple of dealerships. Not only did we publish it as we usually would, but we directly contacted the prospective dealerships, and the ones that we heard back from indicated if we respond to this, it's going to be very last minute, because as soon as something gets on the lot, it's gone. That's the market. So I reached out to the Village, and I talked to Heather Gallen at the Village, and she says this has been a problem for the Village for a couple of years. I mean, they have a little bit of a different situation, because typically their procurement process, they're trying to get snow plows and police cruisers, but in some cases they have other vehicles they use as well. But if it's difficult to get vehicles if you want them in a timely fashion. Even with their police cruisers, like in the past couple of years, they would go to the state bid process to procure them, but there wasn't a state bid process for those police cruisers, so they had to go to Iowa. There's this place that sells emergency vehicles, and so anyway, what Heather recommended, and I can look into the legality of this. I'd want to talk to our attorneys. What the Village has done for other types of vehicles is they've gone to the board, and the board has approved a bid waiver request. So the idea behind this, and I still need to get more details. I just talked to Heather the other day, so I'm not exactly sure how this would work, and I need to talk to our attorneys about it. But if we wanted to move forward, the idea would be, under this scenario, is that we would there would be a proposal before the board, and the board would, if the board wanted to proceed this way, they would basically approve this bid waiver request due to the market, because no one is going to, like we did this the proper way. Obviously, the way you want to do this is you want to get people to respond, and then you can, it's a competitive process. But since the market doesn't lend itself to that, the idea would be for us to then, if the board approved that, we could go, to a dealership, and then we could, try to directly negotiate with them based on whatever inventory they have at the time. So that's kind of the plan B. I'm open to other ideas, but the traditional way of doing this doesn't seem to work, at least with this market, with this automobile market, the way it is.
So can you explain then, were these just on age 84, was this just like what they thought we might see, or is that what we were looking for?
Oh, 84, that's specific to a new bookmobile. Yeah, so this is for the just the library vehicle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So
Got
it's a bit of a different process.
Okay.
Now for the bookmobile, that idea is you do go out to bid, and which would be a much more complicated process, because there are more criteria they'd have to fulfill, and then we would the people would respond, and we have confidence that with the bookmobile we'll have 3 to 5 vendors that would certainly reply to respond to that. Since this is we're competing with consumers and everybody else, they don't have to, they really don't need our business, because they get something and it's gone. And plus, they have incentive to work with the consumer, because they probably want the consumer to finance with them and thus make more money, so that's the dilemma that we have here.
That's stinky.
But I'm open to other approaches, but I think what the village has been doing seems like a good model, assuming we want to get a vehicle, and we do, because staff, they're using their own vehicles right now for a lot of the work they're doing in the community.
That's not good.
Yeah, so,
What about the option of going with a new vehicle?
With a new vehicle?
A new vehicle instead of a used one? Because then we have the ability to
Exactly.
basically ask for something bespoke.
yeah, we could look into that.
It'll mean longer to procure, but
So we would order it through the dealership? is
we'd
that
order
what
it through a
you're
dealership, and whichever dealership's willing to order it for us.
saying? Yeah. I do like that one.
Because then we can still do a bid, we can still ask for which dealerships are willing to custom order a vehicle.
Yeah, probably, I think we can explore that option. Definitely, we want to reach out to dealerships and have that discussion with them before moving forward, to make sure that that's something they didn't even entertain, right?
It'd be more expensive, unfortunately,
Yeah.
always is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, I don't know if that's necessarily helpful, but
If we need a vehicle, we need a vehicle, right? Are there other options besides the Subaru Outback that we could look at? I mean, that's a popular model. I don't know.
I think we could. I think
I don't know.
Scott's not here. I know he's coming later, but I know that we're open to other vehicles. I think they just settled on, okay, if we're gonna do this RFP, you need to be
Yeah.
very specific in
Yeah.
this process,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
that makes
yeah.
sense.
But
I wonder.
I don't think that we're married to that
So does
idea.
the interior then have to be outfitted, refitted for our use, or no?
No.
It's just looking
Yeah.
at it as a vehicle to transport things?
Yeah, and the reason that we went with the Subaru Outback, and Rebecca, please pitch in. But I think the general idea behind that vehicle was that it was all-wheel drive, so that's when we needed to use it in the wintertime.
Yeah,
It would be
right,
good on
right.
the roads, and then B, just in terms of ergonomics, the kind of transporting we'd be doing, you'd have that hatchback that would pop
Yeah,
open.
I
So those
see.
were the two
Okay, okay.
big reasons, but it doesn't have to be that vehicle. But we'll certainly investigate George, your suggestion about if we were to want to procure a new vehicle and order through a dealership, if dealerships would be, if that sounds good to them, like, oh, we'd love to work with you, make sure that they would
Yeah.
respond before we get on the road. Otherwise, I think the advantage of the bid waiver request in theory is that we could move more quickly and save money too.
Sure.
But I'm open to other suggestions the board might have. And we'll talk to other intergovernmental partner students if they have other ideas, but it's just an unusual automobile market right now.
I had no idea that they were, I know they're popular, but I had no idea. It's hard to come by.
would there be any limit to what we'd be able to spend with a bid waiver?
I'd have to find out. That's a good question. Yeah, that's why I want to talk to our attorney, because this is a new concept to me, so.
And I'll ask, what about that same program that the village was looking for emergency vehicles? Obviously,
It's-
non-emergency vehicles.
It's Carl's, and there's another person at the village, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, I don't remember his name, but that Heather told me to talk to, who actually does the pretty much his job is I think he has other tasks, but he's the main person for procurement of vehicles. But this place, I think it's called Carl's Emergency Vehicles, and they specialize, and the reason they're in Des Moines, Iowa, and they specialize in emergency response vehicles. So I think their inventory is limited, and the reason they have stock is because they do these bulk purchasing. So they have like, Chevy Tahoe. So I don't know if any of those vehicles would really work for our purposes, because I don't think staff wanna drive around a big Chevy Tahoe, and those are expensive, even if we
Yes,
wanted to
they
get
are.
those,
And
what are
they're
those?
expensive to run.
Yeah, $55,000 to
Yes,
$2,000, so I don't,
exactly.
that's, so we can reach out to them and see what they have in stock, sure.
I know,
What about a Prius?
you give it all long stuff in a Prius, let me tell you.
They have a garage. You could-
Yeah, I know that, I was at the City of Waukegan Council and I saw that they also were buying cars, so I don't know who they do it with, I could see if Tom knows.
Yeah, sure.
Cause it might be, I don't know, I know it was like mostly like police and like other stuff too, but.
Yeah, I'd be happy to talk to someone from Waukegan, see if they have another approach, yeah.
So do other libraries, do their staff then use their own vehicles, or do they have a similar approach to it than, that they have a vehicle from the library that takes things around?
I think it's mixed.
Is it mixed?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm going to the CCS governing board, so I can ask some colleagues
Yeah,
what, if
yeah.
anyone has
I'm
had
just
this
curious.
situation recently.
Yeah, we should get the new head of the library to just invest in having vehicles for us waiting.
Yeah.
I see Scott joined. Any input on
So, Scott,
lack
you're,
of vehicle?
you're open, we were talking about this, that there was a question, we're not locked into a Subaru Outback, we're pretty flexible in terms of the I know you want certain specifications per vehicle, but when you researched, there were other models that you'd be open to, right?
Pretty much anything that's like a hatchback type with a lot of storage in the back.
Mhm.
So we went with Subaru Outback just because, they're the same vehicles and it fit the model.
Yeah,
So,
and all-wheel drives.
yeah, for the winter and everything,
Yeah.
so.
Hmm.
Alright, anything
So
else?
do you need anything from us?
And not at this time, there's nothing for the board to take
No,
action on.
cause like you said something about potentially like
Well-
needing not to go through like the process or that we've gone through it.
Well, we'll go through I need to, if the recommendation of the board is to do the bid waiver request, that's something that I'll speak to our attorney about and make sure, cause there are a lot of questions, George brought up one, like, are there limits if we go through that process, cause it's not something I'm familiar with, so. So this definitely will come back in one form or another on November 21st, so.
Alright, anything else? Do we have a motion to adjourn? So moved.
Second.
Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Meeting's adjourned at 6:59.